What's going on, familia? I am here at one of my rentals that I just posted an eviction notice about 3 days ago. The family has finally moved out. I can talk about the situation here in just a minute, but what I want to do is go over how the tenants left the property. I think that that's going to be very interesting to look at. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right. Hello? Hello? Realtor? Anybody here? Okay, so as I come in, I can see that there's couches, boxes, frames, and dining table. There's definitely stuff here from the previous owners, but I got the go-ahead to make the video, to come in and make the video from my property manager. So it doesn't seem like anybody's here, but give me a quick moment to turn all the lights on. I promise I'm not gonna look at anything without y'all. I'm just gonna turn the lights on, and then we'll come back and start the video. We'll look at everything together, all right? Okay, all the lights are turned on. I didn't see anybody while I was turning on the lights. Let's go ahead and get started. So I guess the tenants still have to come pick all this stuff up. I hope I don't run into them as I'm walking you guys through this property. I don't know. I have to get with my property manager about everything that they left because according to my property manager, they moved out. So let's just go ahead and go through this. I want to check out the 2-inch forward blinds here real quick because these cost me a pretty penny. And they did make a big difference to the property because they used to have metal blinds. So I want to make sure that they're all good. And by the looks of it, at least these two, they look great. They look fantastic. But right here at the entrance of the house, we do have very bad scratch marks to the point where they scratched off a lot of the sheetrock there. Obviously looks like dogs. But they scraped off wood. They scraped off sheetrock. And I'm going to have to get that repaired. From what I was told by the property manager, the tenants had told her that they did have dogs that scratched up the sheetrock. So, yep, look at that. I wonder if they did this in every single corner of the house. This is so unfortunate. And then, let's see. Yeah, look, we got some more in that corner. We got some right there as well on the back door entrance. The floor looks like it held up good. I want to see how it's under these couches. But the floor looks like it held up really well. Now, if you remember, we put this flooring down about 2 years ago when we first bought the property. We took out all of the carpet and put vinyl plank in the bathrooms and in the main area, like the living room, dining room, and kitchen. So it looks like it is holding up well, even with those dogs running around. I don't know how big they were or how small they were, but it doesn't look to have a lot of scratch marks on this floor. So looks like it held up well, and it wasn't the super high-end expensive luxury vinyl plank, but it also wasn't like the cheapest, so looks like this is doing good so far. Okay, as we get to the dining room area, yeah, doesn't look like anybody's here. The kitchen looks fine. The stove looks dirty. That's gonna need to get cleaned. Yeah, they definitely, oh, Steelers fans, eh? Okay, I see it. They left me some ramen noodles. All in all, the kitchen looks fine. It doesn't look like they completely tore everything up on the kitchen. The cabinets look fine. The stove needs some cleaning, but it'll be all right. So kitchen doesn't look that bad. Now let's go into the bedrooms over here on this side. I'm curious to see what they look like. My old daughter's room and my old office. Okay, we've got the carpet here that we installed brand new 2 years ago. Still looks really good. No stains from what I can see on this carpet, which is also good. Yeah, the carpet looks like it's in great condition still. Soft and everything. I wonder if I can keep that TV since they already moved out technically. The blind looks good. No holes. Doesn't seem to be broken. That's awesome. Okay. Let's come this way. Let's check out the guest bathroom. Guest bathroom looks good. There's my good looking self right there. All right. Shower doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. I mean, it looks the same as how we left it. We'll definitely have to just do some cleaning here, but it doesn't look like anything is in disrepair. A lot of the times I worry about these towel racks. Yeah, see, this one's loose. A lot of the times they end up breaking them or they put too much weight on them to where it just breaks everything off and it pulls that anchor that's inside the drywall along with it. And then you have to, make drywall repairs. So it looks like they did an all right job there, though. I just need to tighten that towel rack. Coming into the bedroom here, the carpet looks great too. This used to be my old office. That over there used to be my daughter's room. But this, unfortunately, I just saw this. Looks like we got some black stains on the carpet. I wonder if we can get that off with shampoo, which I hope we do so that it's not unappealing. I wonder if I'm going to have to replace the whole carpet just because of that. We'll have to see. I'll see what I'll do with that. The blind looks good. So let's go on to the master bedroom. All right, master bedroom. Door looks fine. They don't look broken. I have a coworker of mine that likes to make fun of me for these hollow core doors. I mean, for as hollow as they are, they're pretty solid. And just real quick as a side note, this is an 1,100 square foot home, okay? If you're using hollow core doors in this small home, that's fine by me. You're gonna be able to hear anything through the walls anyway, okay? So no need to install expensive solid core doors. Let's go into the master bedroom. Let's see what that looks like. All right, hopefully there's no stainage here. No, the master bedroom looks good, guys. Everything looks good here. No holes on the wall, at least that I can see right now. Hopefully I don't have to eat those words. There's normal wear and tear right here. It looks like they installed a TV or something where they put anchors. That's fine. We can get that repaired. Now, the master bathroom is pretty small here. It's a single vanity, the same as the guest bathroom, but, at least they have their own bathroom here. And, you get to get a good look at myself again. But let's look down here. Yeah, looks fine. Everything looks good. Let me zoom out. Yeah, everything looks good here. Doesn't look like they did anything crazy. No holes in the walls, no mold or anything, so that's good. It's good that the tenants took care of the property for the most part. It just sucks that they let their dogs do their crazy stuff and their messiness for them. I mean, look at that. That's just ridiculous. We're going to have to get all of this repaired. Like, what are the dogs doing? How are they so bored that they just gnaw and chew at the drywall down to the metal cornering there? Yeah, that sucks. Okay, now that we've gone through the whole property, we were able to see that not a lot of damage was created throughout this 1 year of the tenants being in here. But it does suck that the damage that we did see was created by the dogs and that they chewed up those baseboards and a lot of the sheetrock. So that is going to have to get fixed. I don't think it's going to be that big of a financial burden to get fixed. And so that's good. That's something that I'm grateful for, because I think one of the biggest fears of any landlord or anybody that's trying to invest in real estate and get their own properties and rentals is that the tenants are going to mess up the property completely to the point where it's going to be in complete disrepair. I mean, that really is a valid fear that a lot of investors have. And so the fact that at least in this 1 year's time, these tenants did not leave the property in complete disrepair is a win for me. So that's good. And now let's go ahead and talk about the other thing, all right? The other thing being that I had to post my first eviction notice ever. That did kind of suck, but there is a difference from posting an eviction notice and going through the full eviction process, okay? When somebody lives in your property that cannot afford it and can't make payments, you post the eviction notice and they have a certain amount of days to move out. Now, if they don't move out during that time, then you go through what is known as the eviction process, which means that you have to get the courts involved and go through a court process in order to get these people removed. Now, luckily for me and my wife, we didn't have to go through that court proceeding. All we had to do was just post the eviction notice. There are still a lot of people that want to avoid court proceedings and going through that whole process, and so they rather just move out, not cause a big fuss, and leave it as is, right? So in this case, that's how it worked out with me and my wife. We post the eviction notice, and then in 3 days, they have moved out. And I wouldn't say completely moved out because they still got this table and a couple of other things in here. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm going to have to get with my property manager to see when they're going to come back to get all of this stuff out, or if they just decided to leave it and then it's just on me to get rid of all this stuff. I don't know. But if that's the case, I kind of hope that that TV in that bedroom works. That'd be kind of cool to keep. Now, the reason why I had to post the eviction notice isn't necessarily because the tenants were not paying for a certain amount of time. So from what I was told from my property manager was that the initial tenant that was on the lease had moved out quite a long time ago, but was continuing to give the rent payments. During that time, I don't know if this was known by my property manager or not, but there came another person, another tenant to move into this property who could not afford the monthly payment. But then that initial tenant called my property manager and told them that they were not going to continue with the monthly payments as of January 2023, and that they had already in fact moved out. And so the only tenant that was in here was his buddy, whom I'm not sure was on the lease or not. And so that being said, the buddy, who was still currently living in this property, could not afford the monthly payments. And so therefore we had to post his eviction notice to go ahead and get him out, because I believe if we didn't, he was going to try and milk this thing as long as he could. And so I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up so that nobody thinks that we're completely evil or that we're trying to kick somebody out when we had no right to. We totally had a right here. This ultimately is a business, and we're trying to make some money off of it. Unfortunately, now we're going to have to wait to get these cosmetic issues fixed up and then put it up on the market for rent and wait for new tenants to sign a lease agreement. That can take time, and that's another fear that landlords have when they're investing in real estate. And it's also a valid fear, because the more time that this property sits vacant, the more money that I'm going to lose. Why is that? Well, number one, this property is not being rented out, so I don't make money from the rents. And then number two, I still have a mortgage on this property. And so every month, the mortgage is going to come due. They're not going to wait for me to get a tenant in here. They're going to ask for their money every month. And so I have to pay the mortgage out of my own pocket. So that's why it's a very valid fear. But thankfully, it's just cosmetic issues. I'm going to look at the bright side. I know that it could be a lot worse. I know that a lot worse has happened to other real estate investors. So I'm just going to stick to the bright side, and we're going to try and get this property rented out as soon as possible. Anyway, thank you guys so much for walking this through with me. I hope that you guys were able to find some value in this video. I might just do a follow-up video, or at least a follow-up post as to what's going to happen with the rest of the furniture that's in this property and how fast I can get this property back up on the market and rent it out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.